Hello everyone, it's Red with RedDragonLeo.com, and it is Sunday the 11th, April 11th. I'm sorry, April 10th. Tomorrow's April 11th, and we do have some more news. Another update from Ben Fulford, who basically states that the Federal Reserve crime syndicate, this is his exact quotes right here, that they are threatening Japan now with Reagan-era Star Wars-based, space-based weapons. Apparently one of their HARP facilities in Alaska went offline. Wonder if that had anything to do with the good guys maybe attacking the power facility that powered the weapon and maybe shutting it down, that Ben Fulford called for. I think it was in his last post or post before that. One of the videos I'd put up here on the site showed that he was asking the good military leaders inside the Pentagon to shut down these HARP facilities by bombing their power supply. So I don't know what the case was there, but now they are talking about that HARP will not be silenced, that these evil people plan to continue, and that they may do it on April 11th, because of that indicates April 11th, 411 might be a likely day of the attack. That's Monday. I certainly hope not. There's going to be lots of 11s in this year because of it ending in 2011. Should be lots of 11s, so the Illuminati is going to have at least one every month. If it's 411, 511, 611, etc. Of course, November will be 11, 11, 11. That should be an interesting date for them. But the Japan, after they got attacked the first time from HARP back on March the 11th, they at that point bowed down and paid 60 trillion yen to the Federal Reserve gangsters. Bush, which of course is Bush, Rockefeller, Kissinger. These are the reptilians. Were they reptilians or they're worshippers of reptilians? I'm not sure, but I've been spending many hours here recently on the internet just going through and finding video evidence of them where they can't hold their shape. I haven't seen any Rockefeller yet, but plenty of Bush and plenty of other people that are not able to hold their shape, and you can see the reptilian part in them come out with high definition cameras and stuff that wasn't available many years ago. So I don't know how they do it, but certainly there's becoming more and more evidence that reptilian shapeshifters do exist, and that they are in all levels of government. Now, maybe I'll do a special page for that. I mean, I'm not going to go into that now, but anyway, there's another thing I thought that was interesting, is that the good guys, the Palladians, I believe, the alien race known as the Palladians, have been over Japan, and they have been doing their best to neutralize the radiation to help those poor people there in Japan. Here is some orbs, and I think, this is just my speculation, that they are neutralizing the effects that the HARP technology is doing to heat up the water underneath the volcano as well. They're probably working on that. But you can see the sun, and you can see all these little, man, the sky's just full of them here. The sky's just absolutely full of them. I don't know if I can get any bigger than that. Let me see if I can't get any bigger here. Clicking on it, and yes, I can. So this here looks like a whole streak of them, and then this here, the sky is just full of them. But I'll put the link to that on the blog as well. Very interesting, and that's just my theory, that I think that they've been here since the beginning of time, beginning of mankind, and they are here to help us and they are over there trying to help that. They can't do a mass landing, obviously, because they'll scare the public, because a lot of people still don't believe in aliens. I don't know how much proof you need, but this was a very interesting post, and this talks about a message that says that basically we have now been moved, the Earth, into a new orbit, I guess you would call it. It has moved enough that we will not have the destruction that the Illuminati planned. It seems like this end of the world scenario that they have been planning, splitting the killing 95% of the population and all of this, and splitting the United States in half and sinking Japan, that it doesn't look like they're going to succeed. And this is exactly what it says in the Bible, folks, that in the end the bad guys lose. So I still believe wholeheartedly that 2012, December 21st, is not the end of anything for us good people, but the beginning of a new era of freedom for us. But this is a kind of a long article, but it is very, very interesting, I think, that basically these Palladians most likely are communicating through someone, and this person is writing it down and telling them, saying, hey, don't worry, everything's going to be fine. It's not going to, the bad guys aren't going to win, basically. So I'm not too worried about that. So that kind of leads me to believe that they're end of the world scenario with the fake print here of where did I have it? I had one of 20.16 on the SPY, and I don't know where I got it, but okay, that fake print of the VIX, and that's not it. Well, it's hard to say where I have it, folks. I have a fake print of 20.16 on the SPY. That's about 2,000 on the Dow, about 200 on the SPX, and then here is your high on the VIX of 349.42. This kind of tells you that the only way these kind of prints can really play out is if we have an end of the world type scenario, and that they are going to try to fulfill through the comet or dwarf star, brown star, that is, approaching Earth. That I took the time to write down a bunch of stuff right here. As you can see, I've just been writing down, and that's too big. Let's go like this. Sorry. The key dates here, I'm going to post this on the blog as well, but pretty much if you look right through here, these are some key dates right here of alignments. May the 9th could be 9-degree angle with Earth, so they could stage something on that day as to do with Elenin, or Elenin. Is it Elenin or Elenin? I think it's Elenin. I'm not sure how it's pronounced. That's a kind of a tough one for me, but I'm going to just call it Elenin. Brown star Elenin, that I've showed you many times. There's plenty of evidence out there that it's there. They apparently have known about it for 50 years. So that's why they've been preparing all their underground bunkers and things like that. But I believe from reading that other article that the Earth is going to be protected, and because we have been moved in another trajectory, I guess, or timeline, you might call it, and we're not going to go through that. We're going to go through a wonderful time period. So there might be some disruptions, volcanoes and things, but it's not going to be an end of the world scenario. So these dates might not mean anything, but we should still look at them and see, because obviously May 21st, August 3rd, September 9th, and September 11th. Well, we definitely want to look for another September 11th. And Elenin's closest to the sun. It could have massive solar flares, so they might stage something on these dates, etc. So anyway, those were quite interesting. And but as for next week, I do think we're going to have some selling, but I think at some point we are going to go up to this 138.86 print on the SPY, about 1388 on the SPX. I don't know when it's going to get there. I still don't know if this means the 4th month, 29th day on the volume here, meaning April the 29th is when we reach this peak. And if that was the case, and then we staged something, what's after April 29th? Anything? No, nothing major until May the 9th. But anyway, getting more on a short-term basis here with the market here. Let's go over that here for you real quick. So you can clearly see on a monthly basis, we're looking very likely that the market is tiring out, and I think that we'll probably put in our high this month. Whether it's on April 29th or not, I don't know, but I think it's possible we could go up before this thing finally rolls over and tanks for good. And I haven't really looked back through here to see if I've seen a candle pattern just like that to see, but I don't see any here. And of course, the market never repeats itself identically, so you can't always expect that to be the case. So no, I don't see any. But oh boy, wasn't that a beautiful topping tail? Man, you seen a candle like that, and look at the month that followed. Wow. Okay, well, in any case, on the weekly chart, that would indicate maybe we go down for a B wave here. Maybe we only go down to 1300 area, then we go back up for that C wave up to 1388. That's a possibility. Looking at this, you can still see, folks, that this is pointed up. This is pointing up on the weekly, and here, the last week, it's the histogram bar. I really can't tell if it's a high or low or about the same, so it's really indecisive there. True, it could continue down or go right back up for after a week or two. I'm thinking we have this one more week, this coming week up here, down at least in the beginning of the week, and then we turn and we start to head back up a little bit, and we hit that 1388 print. I think they're still in control of the market for now. So I know that doesn't sound right, but I do think that's the case. Looking at it here on the daily chart, I basically think that we're gonna fall down here to somewhere in this 1300 area right here. Maybe we hit just this 1313 on the 200 or 50 moving average and then bounce back up. That's a possibility, or maybe we'll go a little bit deeper. I'm not ready to say for sure yet that we are just going to roll down here and take this out and go lower than this. When you look at the ADX line, you can see there's not a lot of strength there, and it's very, very low. So it's not going to give any strength to the bulls or bears at this point when it does start to sell off. It needs to really curl up and start to move up here much higher to give it some strength into selling. So I just don't think that this is ready to happen just yet. When you look back at all these other daily moves, I don't think we've seen any that just rolled straight over and went straight down and that was it. You look at this nice curve, you should expect it to kind of either barely dip below and come back up, or just put in a few lower ones and then come back up here again and put in a second high or lower high on these histogram bars right here, meaning negative divergence. It did it here. As you can see, it went up, started to roll over, kind of flattened out, then went back up a little bit, then finally rolled over. Here's the exception to it, but here's one that's more likely what we might see is kind of down like this, up a little bit, then down, and then a lot of garbage here. And I don't think we're going to get this part of it. I do think that once we finally roll over, we're going to roll over, but you should expect this to kind of dip down a little bit and try to come back up before it really starts to go and really roll over. It's what I'm thinking is going to happen. So on a short-term basis, I'm not sure what's going to happen on Monday, because it looks like it could continue down, or it could turn and go right back up. I really don't know at this point. It's sitting here right at zero, and it could do either or. You could continue straight down, or you could curl back up. It is getting a little bit close to oversold here on the full stochastics. It's worked its way down, 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 but there's no positive divergence on it at all. If you drew a line right here, you're not seeing any positive divergence, meaning it can continue down here to below 20. So it is possible that the rally we had into Friday was it, and we could open and gap down Monday and continue down. That's very possible. If that's not the case, then we actually open flat, and you basically, you might look for the market to try to work its way back up here on the 60-minute chart before it finally rolls over. It might not even get into positive territory. It all depends on how far this gets. It is pointing up, and you can see it better here on the 15-minute chart right here. You can see they kind of rallied it into the close, but that might be all that we get. It's hard to say. I mean, obviously this 15 could roll up here and maybe get a little bit overbought and then turn and roll back over. So we might only go back up here to retest this area right in here. That's a strong possibility. I'm not looking for no big rally on Monday, even though it's supposedly, bullish Monday as usual. I'm not seeing it. Same thing on the 30-minute chart. Should roll back up. So this all indicates that if we do roll back up here and try to recapture this area, we could end up with a spinning top kind of candle, just another sideways day of nothing as this thing tries to reset itself back up, and then it makes its decision on whether or not it's going to roll over and take another wave down like on Tuesday, or if it's going to try to fulfill this failed bull flag of consolidation from this move up and sideways. You can consider this failed because it did fall down, but the gangsters don't care about bull flags and bear flags. If they want to recapture this zone area and recapture it and trade sideways and then try to launch up higher, that's possible they could do it, but I don't see it without another leg down. I really do think at this point, wherever we go up here on Monday, we're going to have another leg down. It's going to go deeper. It should be at least this 13 area, which is that 50-day moving average on the daily, and it could be deeper down to this 1300. And then after that, we'll have to reevaluate it and see. At that point, I don't know if we're going to end up, if we went down to 1300, that would be a right shoulder. And so here'd be your left shoulder pretty much. Here's some minor shoulders, but let's just consider it just one big left shoulder, and you'd expect to see this come back up. And at that point, I don't know if it's going to bust on through this next time and going up to 1388 or not, but it's clearly the plan of them is to get up to that 1388. There's no question about it. They put that fake print out there. That's their plan. Whether or not they get it or not, I don't know. There's, they might be cutting their own foot off to spite their face if they plan on sinking Japan on Monday 4/11. Then you can throw this print out the window, and it don't mean nothing. But at this point, I think it's still on for hitting, and I think they'll be stopped. I don't think anything is going to happen on 4/11. I pray it doesn't. So that's about all I can think of to cover there. One other thing I did want to go over here is who you should vote for. If I can influence you any at all, I hope that you vote for Ron Paul if he runs again on any party. I hope he runs on the independent party. Jesse Ventura has kind of hinted that he will be glad to run as vice president, and he'd like to see him run on the independent party. He said it somewhere here. Said screw the Republican Party because they're going to give that to Sarah Palin, who is a puppet, and they will control Sarah Palin and tell her what to do. So, and they're not doing that with Jesse Ventura. So far, at this point, I'm gonna put this link on there as well. But so far at this point, I think Ron Paul and Jesse Ventura are the best leaders we can ask for right now. So, keep that in mind for 2012. And don't be suckered into voting Democrat or Republican, keeping us divided as a country, because it's not about Democrats or Republicans. It's about voting for the right person. So there, I've said my say on that. So as far as what's going to happen here, again, you know, even though Ben Fulford talks about it, lots of things have been stopped. I definitely believe that we have got some powerful aliens out there that are angels, the Palladians being the main ones, I believe, and that they are stopping a lot of these horrible things that are happening on the planet, and they can't stop them all, obviously. And I'd say that's probably because of the fact that the only way to stop them all would be to show themselves in mass, and as a mass landing or something like that. But they are showing themselves, as you've seen with that picture, with a lot of orbs up there in space, or in the skies, I should say, not in space, but in the skies, showing themselves. So here on that link right here, and you know, I don't know how you feel about it, but you know, this whole website is about you know, exactly what it says: stock market trading on the dark side. I really should say it on the alternative side, but dark side is more cooler. So on the suppressed media side, because nobody talks about the aliens except for people on the internet. Mainstream media won't cover it. They won't cover the reptilians. They won't cover the Anunnaki or the Palladians. They don't cover any of that, and they still have deniability that there's no such thing. You know, anybody with common sense would know it. But so anyway, that's pretty much all I'm looking for. Basically, I'm just looking to see this market rally up to get a place to go short. Basically, on a move down to at least 1312, maybe down to 1300. Now, of course, if they do manage to attack Japan, then we're crashing. Okay, we're going way past 1300. I don't know how far, but if they sink Japan and a 1,000-foot tidal wave comes at California, yeah, then you might as well say that our first major bounce might be here at Dow 8300, or there's gold chart, or here SPX 885. Do I think that's going to happen? No, I don't. But that's, you know, I don't think it's going to happen. I'll just leave it at that. But anyway, so I really don't have a lot to offer you. We're in kind of a no man's land. It was kind of decent volume on this move down, but you know, they ran it back up. We didn't really have what you call panic volume. We just had, you know, good selling volume. I know we're going to have a correction, but as long as this other fake print out here is sitting here for 1388 roughly on the SPX, the 138.86 SPY print, as long as we have that out there, I don't see a big crash yet. So, and that's another reason at least we believe that nothing's going to happen on Monday. So anyway, I'll be on the blog and just looking for this to move up for a place to get short. Of course, now if it rallies up here and gaps up and takes out all this high, then yeah, you can throw all this whole conversation out the window. But I don't think that they're going to do that. I don't think that they have the power to do it right now. I think that they are losing some steam, and the charts are at some point are going to kick in, and they're not going to be able to manipulate them as much as they want. Long term wise, they can't manipulate it. Things happen. Short term is about all they can do. So short term on the daily, yeah, they held all this up, and it's all artificial. We all know that. But again, you shouldn't expect this to just like crash down here below this. You should expect this to kind of, you know, put in a couple of humps, maybe 3 humps, even 2 to 3 humps, to give it negative divergence. That's what you should expect. So, you know, dip down and a recycle back up. Look at this whole move up right here, maybe as an A wave, and then maybe a dip down to 1300 is a B wave and a final move up to 1388 is a C wave. Maybe you could look at it like that. I don't know. I'm not an Elliott wave person, but that's a possibility. So okay, gang. That's all I got for now. Good luck, and I'll see everyone on the blog.